everyone, you guys are watching Abdul Hasib YouTube channel. My name is Uwais. I'm a certified HSE consultant working with oil and gas industries. In today's topic, we are going to look at how learning from the mistakes which we make today can help us to be safer tomorrow. We all knows that accident happens and it can happen to anybody, which leads to pain, injury and sometimes even death.
It is important to understand why these accidents happen. If we make each one a learning experience, we can prevent the same types of accidents from happening again. An accident can be caused by hazardous conditions or unsafe work practices. But even when the reason seems obvious, the real root cause can often be something else. That's where accident investigation comes in. It examines an incident systematically to determine its true causes. That information is then be used to update policies, procedures or equipment to reduce the risk of that type of accident from ever occurring again. The point of an accident investigation is not to assign blame or to get anyone in trouble. It's to prevent people from being injured in the same way in the future. But before we discuss the investigation, let's talk for a minute about how we should deal with the incidents themselves.
Basically, there are two types of workplace incidents, which are classified as accident and near miss. Near miss is an unplanned event which did not result in injury, illness or damage, but had potential to do so.
Near misses can warn us about a problem before something more serious happens, and it is much better to learn from near misses than from accidents. Unfortunately, we won't always have a near miss to warn us about a potential problem. If an accident does occur, our first concern should be that the people who are injured are being taken care of. If someone needs first aid and you are qualified to give it, that should come first. Then medical personnel should be called immediately. Once any victims are taken care of, the appropriate supervisors and managers should be notified if they are not already informed. After these things are dealt with, the area should be secured so that no one else can get hurt. Safety tape is often used for this purpose. This will also help to prevent people from tampering with evidence that the investigators will need to look at.
Accident investigation usually begins immediately. Witness interview takes place as soon as the area is secured. It is important to remember investigation needs your help. Please be honest and provide as much information as you can.
Even if you do not witness the accident, investigators may want to talk to you, especially if you are familiar with the site or the task being performed at the time of the accident. Remember, the information is being gathered to help determine the exact cause of the accident, not to place blame on anyone. Determining the cause of an accident is not always easy. After all, most accidents have several contributing factors. This is why a root cause analysis can often help the situation. A root cause analysis is an examination of the chain of events that led to an accident. These events may have taken place days, weeks, even months before the accident actually occurred. So it's important that the analysis be thorough. Potential factors that investigators will look for include faulty or poorly maintained equipment, lack of training, or the absence of appropriate policies and procedures. Remember, root cause analysis looks for all of the factors that could have contributed to an accident, which is why it is a vital part of any accident investigation. During an investigation, you should offer as much information as you can regarding the accident. This includes any relevant facts about the workers who were involved, the site where the accident occurred, and the working conditions at the site. A successful root cause analysis relies on detail. It will help if you are familiar with the safety practices that are used in the work area where the accident occurred. And don't worry about giving investigators too much information. They will sort it all out. You never know when some small fact will be the key to determining what really happened and why. Let's look at some examples.
A worker standing on the last step of the ladder falls down. Now it may appear a very easy investigation, as it is obvious that the worker was ignoring the safe rule of working on a ladder and he was stepping on the last step of ladder, due to which he lost his balance and fell down.
The worker's actions are certainly a factor, but there can be other reasons this accident occurred as well. In order to prevent the same type of accident from happening again, we need to look deeper. What if the ladder he was on was the tallest one in the warehouse? We know a person fell off a ladder. We also know that he was standing on the top step. By continuing the investigation, we eventually discovered that he was using the tallest ladder in the warehouse. The worker's carelessness is a factor, but the lack of proper equipment is the root cause of this accident. The warehouse needs a taller ladder so that workers can reach the highest materials without standing on the top step. Remember, the ultimate goal of an accident investigation is to prevent this incident from happening again. Let's look some other examples of root cause analysis.
A worker working on machine got suddenly shocked. Now we might conclude that it happened because this operation was inherently hazardous, as electricity was involved, and we could not do anything much more to make it more safer.
But it takes electricity to run the machine, and there are procedures that allow electrically powered equipment to be worked on safely. So there are probably other factors to consider. For instance, should the system have been locked out? If so, why wasn't it? We need to look at whether the worker who was repairing the machine had been given training on lockout-tagout procedures. If he had received lockout-tagout training, we would also need to determine if the worker was following the procedures that he was taught. In this instance, the investigators determined that the root cause of the accident was a lack of training. The worker never attended the lockout-tagout class he was scheduled for and therefore never knew the danger he was putting himself into. Now let's apply root cause analysis to a third situation, one that involves personal protective equipment.
Falls are accidents which people don't investigate fully. Now what happens when somebody falls? It has been concluded that he or she might have loosened his footing or grip. But when we take a closer look,
in this case, we discover that worker did not follow procedures by wearing his fall protection gear. We would then need to find out why. There are a number of reasons why an employee might skip proper safety procedures, all of them bad. In an attempt to increase their output, a worker in a hurry can sometimes forget about safety. Ironically, if an accident occurs as a result, production will often slow down or even stop altogether. There are times when an accident has nothing to do with equipment training or procedures. Often investigators find that miscommunication is the root cause of an accident. Workers need to clearly hear and understand any instructions they receive about the job they are doing. If communications are not clear or there is a question about what should really be done, instructions should be repeated so that everyone understands the proper procedure.
so far we have only looked at the first goal of accident investigation, which is determining the cause. Now let's have the look on the other goal of accident investigation, which is to make sure that it doesn't repeat again.
Remember, when it comes to learning from accidents, there are 4 basic areas to look at: policies, training, equipment, and communication. Proper training is always a key element in preventing accidents. If problems have existed with certain types of activities or situations in the past, everyone should be made aware of the potential hazards that are associated with those situations and be trained. to handle them. If a situation is hazardous enough, your facility may have to put new policies into place, or existing policies may have to be updated. This can often take the form of workplace rules or standard operating procedures that everyone must follow. Many accidents are caused by faulty or misused equipment. In these cases, the equipment may need to be repaired. If repairs are not possible, or if the correct equipment is not being used, new equipment may have to be purchased, which may also require additional training. If an accident was the result of faulty communication, people may need to be made aware of the factors that can make hearing what a co-worker is saying difficult and how to overcome this. In many cases, the solution to the problem can involve more than one of these 4 factors.
As you can see, accident investigation is an involved process. The basic goal of accident investigation is to determine the cause and to stop the recurrence of the same event, which was the effort. Let's review what you can do to help.
Report near misses. They can teach us a lot about preventing accidents in the future. In the event of an accident, remember, people's safety is the top priority. Cooperate with investigators. Their goal is to prevent more accidents from occurring. Provide investigators with as much information about an accident as you can. Remember that a root cause analysis is an examination of the entire chain of events that led to an accident. So, no detail is unimportant. If you are helping to investigate an accident, look at all 4 major factors: policies, training, equipment, and communication.
A good accident investigation can solve the mystery behind any safety problem, which helps you and your co-workers to stay safe at work.